Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Vanity Ezel back in the Cafe Vanguard as on the Vanity weekly review. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't like, comment, subscribe, and switch already. So this time we have a lot more review. Actually, we have less reviews compared to last week. But to be fair, last week we also got 2 Ridlines revealed. But this week we have more Divine Z skills. I mean, sadly it's not going to be revealed this video. But next, as on the Vanity, we'll have Drag Race in it. This video we have Resino. I fucking called it that he could change triggers into heal triggers. I was right. We have some more generic cards, and we have cards that support the demo decks, which should make you question why did they bother printing vanilla grade 3s, because they printed vanilla grade 3s to go into the trial deck or into the demo decks, and then the demo deck grade 3s are different than the ones that are in the booster set. I don't understand it, but okay. So let's go ahead and get this started, shall we, and see what we got, because honestly the reveals today are good. First of today we have Fancy Night Parade, grade 2 Blitz order, because every deck's getting a Blitz order that costs 2 EP to play. Choose a unit card from your soul other than the owner of a trigger or a sentinel, call it to guard circle, and it gets plus 10,000 shield for the battle. All around pretty solid. It's not super broken because it doesn't give you a free 60k shield if it was the over, or a free PG if it was, a PG. Also, it has a moon in the background, it's very cute, and as I've learned with just like playing energy, unless your entire deck takes up energy, it's very easy to okay, let me replace that. In a deck like Wellstra, where there's one unit that takes up energy, even if there's multiple, somehow, unless one of them takes up EB4, like demo deck grade 3s, you're probably fine with energy management. So Fancy Night Parade, very cheap, easy to use, nice 2 over 3 of in a Dark States deck, depending on if you want to use it or not. Then we have Sports Day in the Fields, grade 2, normal order, play by energy blasting 2. Choose one of your rear guards till end of turn. It gets auto rear guards at the end of your turn. If the total number of attacks this turn is 4 or more, draw a card and it gets plus 5,000 power. So cool, free 5k buff, and pretty much turn anything on your board into an inlet pulse, bar none. The only thing that it wouldn't do is send itself to soul. But pretty solid, especially because worst comes to worst, you can proc this with Zorga in order to, draw more cards at the end of the turn. Speaking of which, I now come to that realization that the more orders we get that have EB, the one issue that I had with Zorga, which is sometimes just going all in on the CB, suddenly doesn't matter, because suddenly we have a whole new resource we can abuse. So, nice order, not super amazing, but, it's a nice 2 of tech if you want to run it. Then we have our grade 3s for that support the demo decks, main grade 3s, aka Triumph, Sarvaso, Orsagest, Cristanios, Marlene, and Astrom respectively. So first up is Draft Command Dragon, grade 3 Generic Persona, 13k base. Okay, I love his art so much. Auto and placed on rear guard circle from your hand. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Triumph Dragon's card name, CB1 to draw a card. Could have been better, but okay. And then auto rear guard, when this unit attacks by soul blasting 1, it gets plus 5,000 power for that battle. And if you soul blasted a grade 3 or greater with Triumph Dragon, its card name for the cost, it gets plus 1 crit until the battle. So cool, we have rear guards that can get crit and a Vanguard that can get a crit, pretty much turning your entire front row into Triumph Dragons. And again, the free draw is not amazing because it does cost a CB to do it, but it's not bad either because it's just a CB to draw a card and you can proc it the second you hit to grade 3. Just the only thing I have that I have hate towards is you have to soul blast a Triumph Dragon, meaning unless you find a way to soul charge it, this is just an 18k base most of the time. But on the bright side, if you find a way to soul charge it before your opponent gets to grade 2, you have a Vanguard who is double critical, you have this thing that's a double critical, hell, if you get a second one in there, you have another thing that has a double critical, just adds pressure. So, not a bad grade 3, not an amazing grade 3, but if you have space for it, 3 over 4 of it would be a nice tech option in Triumph Dragon. Then we have Steam Artist Telegon, grade 3 Generic Persona, 13k base. Auto when placed when this unit is put into your soul from your rear guard circle. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard or Sologis's card name, by soul blasting 2 cards with different names from this card, draw a card. So you can soul blast any 2 cards, it just can't be this thing, but cool, a free draw, I guess. And then auto rear guard when this unit attacks, by soul blasting 1, it gets plus 5,000 power for that battle. And if you soul blast a grade 3 or greater or Sologis's card name, it gets 15k instead of 5k. Considering Ursa Largest gives the thing called plus 10, and you most likely would call this from Soul, I feel like this isn't worth it. Also, does Ursa Largest himself does not have a way to send this to Soul. It's specifically the grade 2. Yeah, it's specifically the grade 2 that can send something to Soul. Unless I'm forgetting what Ursa Largest does, but I'm pretty sure it's only the grade 2 does it, so it's not a bad grade 3, but comparatively, I feel like this one's better because it at least adds pressure and it gets you a draw without having to neg yourself 2 card names because it gets rid of soul cards. So, I don't know, Telegon's not bad, but he's not amazing either. 3 of, I guess. Then we have Affectionate Preparation, grade 2 normal order, play by Energy Blasting 2, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets auto Vanguard once per turn. When this new attack hits a Vanguard, choose a card from your soul, call it to rear guard on the turn. Okay, cool. It adds pressure to the Vanguard. It's literally just 2 EB, and at this point I'm going to say EB is free because the decks that have a lot of CB problems can basically play this for free. Decks that have Soul Blast problems can basically play this for free. It just gives on-hit pressure. That's literally all it does, and that's a good card because on-hit pressure can sometimes lead to games. So 2/3 Affectionate Preparation, just a nice card to prepare your opponent for death. Aha, get the joke? Okay, I'm going to go jump off the cliff now. Then we have Swing by Dragon, probably my favorite in terms of skill, and yet the part I hate the most is the fact that you have to specifically Soul Blast to the grade 3 with the specified card name, which is why I hate this card. Grade 3 to 9 persona, 13k base, auto and placed on rear guard from the hand. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, that's your opponent's card name. Counter boss want to draw a card, and then auto rear guard once per turn when your other unit stands by the ability of your card. By Soul Blasting 1, this unit will get plus 2000 power for that turn, and if you Soul Blasted a grade 3 or greater with Astroman's card name, stand this unit. Cool, so on your persona right turns, you got 5 attacks. One of them at least getting plus 5, or 2 of them possibly getting plus 15. And sadly, I don't think this procs the Blitz order, or the normal, or the set order, because I'm pretty sure the set order requires your rear guard to stand by the Vanguard's ability, which means this wouldn't get the numbers out of it. But if I'm wrong, I hope I am, then this card's really good. If I'm right, then they had so many ways to make all of these really good. Mainly not restricted the good effect behind Soul Blasting a grade 3 of the same name, but is what is. It's not bad. It just could have been better. 3/4 of, because it does have 5 attack pressure, I guess. And then we have Viral Core Dragon. Speaking of which, I forgot earlier when I said we got Crystonios. We did not get Crystonios cards. Crystonios card gets revealed tomorrow, so basically next video, next Ezel on the Vanity, we'll have that card. Anyways, Viral Core Dragon, grade 3, 200 persona, 13k base. Auto when placed on rear guard circle from the hand. When this is placed from hand to rear guard circle, other than during the battle phase, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard so Valson's card name, CB1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, shift to 1 grade 3 unit card from one called to rear guard and shuffle your deck. Okay, that is the best ability out of all of these, because all 3 of these have involved drawing, and one of these is a straight up neg to Arsenal Largest because you have to Soul Blast 2 other cards to proc it. But this one, yes, it eats away at a CB like these other 2 do, however, in exchange, he just get you a rear guard out of it, unlike being just a draw, which could kind of screw you over. So that's pretty solid. And then auto rear guard once per turn when this unit attacks, Soul Blast 1 gets plus 5000 power for the battle. And if you Soul Blasted a grade 3 or greater Star of Alson's card name, either countercharge 1, so that CB you took up earlier suddenly doesn't matter, or you energy charge 3. So if you went... So because energy, I said earlier that Energy Blast 4 can sometimes cause a problem. If you are in that situation where the Energy Blast 4 screwed you, you can just get 3 of it back immediately. I don't know why, in my opinion, Viral Core is so much better than the other 3 that we have, but Viral Core is. It is so good. It gets you a rear guard for the... All of these costs are the same, but the difference is he gets you a rear guard that you can pick. Second up, he gets you the same amount of benefit in terms of power, but, well, outside of the one that gets 15k, but he also gives you more resources and basically makes himself free. He's just a good grade 3. And is the easiest 4 of, like, if they're going to have to pick one of these to run as a 4 of, you're picking this one, because this one's really good. And then we have Resonating Beloved Girl Respino, grade 3, 10 persona, 13k base, auto and placed on rear guard circle from hand. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Marlene's card name, CB1, draw a card. Okay, that's fine, because Marlene can at least bounce it and loop it. And then auto rear guard when this unit attacks by Soul Blasting 1, it gets plus 5,000 power for the battle, and if you Soul Blast a grade 3 or greater, it gets plus 15k instead. Okay, this is better than this, simply because it can be looped consistently. I mean, granted, so does this one, but again, this one hard minuses your Orso Largest because you have to keep Soul Bossing 2 cards of a different name. Marlene can just keep bouncing this. This is obviously the best one because it gets you rear guard for the same cost as the other one's getting you a draw, and it can also refill your resources. This is, this is second best, this is best, this is third, and then these 2 are arguably tied for last, or Tilligan's last, and then this is 4th, because honest to God, Viral Core is not comparable to the rest of these. 3/4 Respino, it's not bad, but yeah, Viral Core is really good. Then we have our Gravidus cards. You know, I shouldn't be surprised because, you know, what's it called? Desire Devils got cards. Gravidus got cards. It would only make sense in fairness that the 2 decks that came out in set 3 have their other friend that came out in set 3, Cough Cough Flagberg, get support this set, but I guess I'd be asking for too much. Anyways, Gravidus Melder. The answer to fucking, what's it called? The answer to Mask's Gravidus' one glaring flaw. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, continuous rear guard or guard circle. If you have 3 or more meteorites between your drop zone and your order zone, she gives 2k power and 10k and 5k shield. She uses 10k shield and 10k base. And then act rear guard once per turn by energy blasting 3. The one resource nothing else in the deck takes. This thing is the only card so far in Gravidus that takes Energy Blast. Show up to any 3 meteorites from your hand with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard, place them into your order zone, and if you put 2 or more, draw a card. Now, I'm pretty sure that the cards have to combine their grade for that, which means like you either set 1 Falling Hell Hazard and 1 of normal, or you just set 3 of normal. But the fact that you can now use Masks to fetch back 3 orders and not just have to sit on them for a turn and have a card that is essentially free in the deck is the easiest 4 I have ever seen, and you are insane not to run this out of 4 of. It is outside of maybe spacing reasons. Any other reason I don't accept, because it fixes Masks. The one issue I have with Masks, the fact that it just recycled orders and did nothing with them. 4 of. It's amazing. This is the savior. Gravidus tier 0 now, baby. Let's go. Anyways. Next up, we have Gravidus Shiner. Great turn, set 5k shield, 10k base, auto front or rear guard circle once per turn. When your meteorite card is put into your order zone, from your order zone into your drop zone. By soul blasting 1, look at the top card of your deck, put it to top or bottom, and gets 5,000 power for the turn. Okay, not bad. It does force you to use the soul charge effect more of the meteorites, and it is a hard once per turn. But the reason why that's so good is because a lot of times, Gravidus not seeing a trigger in its drive check when you double down on its skill to double trigger effects really screws you. I can think of numerous times where I've done it and it literally effed me over because I didn't see any triggers, and then the following turn I see doubles, but I didn't have the meteorites to use it on because I assumed I was going to see doubles on last turn, and I just needed, or just a trigger in general, and I needed a trigger in general to win, and that didn't happen. So Shiner being able to at least increase those odds is pretty nice. So not a bad grade 2. If push comes to shove and you have to pick one of the new cards for space, definitely pick this one, but still very good cards to try to fit in at least 3 of them. Then we have Bitter About the Pain, Regata. I like how her name is technically Regret if you just spell it a different way, and we get rid of one of the A's or both of the A's. Great turns of 5k shield, 10k base. Auto rear guard when it attacks a Vanguard by energy blasting 4. Choose another front or rear guard, return to your hand, and this unit will give 5,000 power for the battle. So take the one thing that made Maryland special as a main grade 3, which was bounce things, call it, and give it numbers, and put it on a grade 2 that is now runnable in Kyrie, which actually procs her effect more often because it doesn't take up CB or Soul Blast. So we have no reason at all to go back to those grade 3s. This is the only one that makes Sarval so valid, and I'm really glad that it went to the one I cared about the most. So thank you, Bushy, for giving Keto some love. 3 over 4 Regretted, depending on what deck you run it in. It's very good. Then we have 4, or not 4 copies. I thought I was doing a deck profile, so okay. We have Gardagon, and I love this thing because I think it's so cute, and I love that it has a rear guard skill that actually gives it numbers and not just some weird on-play skill, because that's what D's been doing with all of the dogs lately. Anyways, a grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, continues rear guard or guard circle. If you have a Vanguard that's grade 3 or greater with Razel and card in, gets 5,000 shield and 5,000 power. Active mobile player's turn. So cool. 10k shield, 13k base, very solid, especially for a deck that has the ability basically to turn any trigger into a heal trigger, whether or not it's a hard the first time you hit 6 or not, or just until the end of the opponent's next turn. I don't know, because the current rulings we have on that is it's like the community is split. It's 50-50 on that, but you know, we'll see on that. Either way though, Gardagon is a very solid grade 1. I like its skill, and now I have to go figure out more cards I'm going to swap out for the Resino deck I've pre-built, because my god, that actually is pretty solid. So 3 over 4 of. And let's finish it up with our last few reveals for the day. First up, we have our new Rideline for Raziel, so Patrol of Gus Venesta. So the start is the same as the one from the demo deck, so Soel, I believe his name is. Anyways, Venesta is a grade 1 with boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto when it's rolled upon by Knight of Great Advance Ascennior, call it to rearguard circle and soul charge 1. Okay, when I saw it in the anime, I was really disappointed because they didn't explain the soul charge 1, and I was like, great, now they're making more Rideline cards with the ability to call themselves, which is great, but if every Rideline's getting that, it's kind of boring, but the fact that it can soul charge and basically replenish itself is pretty solid. They continues rearguard during your turn. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard of Raziel's card name, it gives us 2k power. All around pretty solid. 2k is not that much, but the fact that it's a free rearguard call as a 10k base is pretty solid, and again, it pretty much replaces itself, and it's really good for early game rushing if you go first. So Vanessa is a pretty solid grade 1, none in the main deck, but I think it's a good one in the right deck. And then we have Knight of Great Advance Ascennior, grade 2 instead of 5k shield, 10k base, on a road pine by grade 3 with Raziel on its card name. Choose a grade 2 less card from your drop zone and call it to rearguard circle. All around pretty solid. You can call any grade 2 or less. If this somehow gets killed, you can call it right back. It's just nice to, again, set up for early game rush, and if you went first, definitely a nice way to pressure out your opponent. Ascennior is a solid grade 2, not just special bottom, but he is free, so it's a nice one in the right deck. Then we have the long-awaited Fated One of Miracles, Raziel. So, grade 3 to press only 13k base with Divine Skill, we'll get to that in a second. Auto Vanguard, when this unit attacks into a Vanguard, by counterblasting 1, you can choose up to choose 2 cards with different grades from your drop zone whose total grade is equal to or less than the number of cards your damage zone call into rearguard. So for example, say you had 3 damage, you can pick a grade 2 and a grade 1 from your drop zone to call it a rearguard. You can pick a grade 0 and a grade 3. You get the point. As long as they have different grades and their total grades equal or less than your damage zone, you can call them, which is nice. So for multi-attack. And then a Divine Skill, act Vanguard Circle once per turn, or not act Vanguard Circle once per turn, act Vanguard Circle cost, Soul Boss 1, return all critical triggers from your drop zone to the deck, shuffle it, and then you get a drive for the turn, and then still end of fight, you cannot ride a unit without Raziel in its card name, so you are stuck on this. But the fact that it says Raziel in its card name means that we're getting an evolve form at some point. But ignoring that part, and you get when a trigger unit other than a heal is revealed for your damage check, if you have 5 or more cards in your damage zone, choose a card from your damage zone, heal it, and lose this ability. So, the first turn you use this, you get basically higher chance of crits, and you get triple drive, and you can use when your opponent's at grade 2 and basically bully them, so you can aggro. The other thing is, and this is a lot of the things where I got right and where a lot of people got wrong, or, well, including myself in that regard for this one, I was right that it could change any trigger into a heal. I knew this was coming, which I was surprised that a lot of people didn't see it coming, or a lot of people were at least shocked by it in the anime, but what we all didn't guess right is that this ability doesn't just last for the turn after you use it, it lasts until the entirety of the game until you are forced to lose it. Which means even if you miracle heal, it's not going to trigger it. So like say for example you pull the over, because it's revealed for the damage check, so the over would technically heal too. So Raziel's all around pretty solid. It basically keeps you from dying, and it literally lasts for the rest of the game. Just once though, it gets triple drive, recycles crits, and allows for multi-attack. I really love how his skill is basically like an upgraded version of the demo deck one. It's pretty solid, so I like Raziel, I think he's cool, and I definitely cannot wait to test play this in about 10 minutes. Then we have his support cards. First up we have Good Tank Masher. So grade 3 to personal 13k base, continues rearguard circle if it was placed by the ability of Vanguard Raziel's card name, plus 15k. 28k swinger, pretty solid on persona right turns is 38k swing, definitely a very nice card to set up with Raziel. Easy 4 of it, it's just good pressure. Then we have Aerial Sage, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, we'll get to that ability in a second. Continues rearguard during the battle of this unit boost if you have a grade 3 or greater Raziel with Vanguard of Raziel's card name, gets 5,000 power. So 13k booster, pretty solid just by having the grade 3. And then auto rearguard, when this unit boosts a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Raziel's card name, discard a hand card to countercharge 1, and this unit gets 2k for the battle. All around pretty solid because I was definitely thinking about how I want to play the deck, and I was thinking more of the lines of Caribre to spam counterblast and just to call rearguards, but now that I know Raziel casts a counterblast, being able to get a countercharger out of this just by discarding a card is pretty solid because pretty much we have our own Fire Run from Alden, except better, because now it's not specifically on play, so then again you could also bounce Fire Run, so there's that. Either way though, Aerial Sage is pretty solid, good numbers, possibly a 15k booster, if it boosts the Vanguard, can countercharge, very solid grade 1, easy 4 of. And then we have our last card for the day, which is Knight of Gentle Breeze Nobilia.
Nobia, grade 2 instead 5k shield, 10k base. Auto when she's placed on rearguard circle. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Rideline card name, card boss will look at the top 3, choose up to 1 grade 3 less unit card from one of them, call it to rearguard circle, and put the rest to bottom. And then if it's your battle phase, reveal it, put it to your hand instead of calling it. All around pretty solid because it's a way to possibly get PGs in the hand if like you stacked your deck with the one Divine Sister who's a Soul Blast one and rest her, so you can stack PGs with and then add them to hand thanks to Raziel and Nobia's combo, or you can just get more rear guard with Nobia during the main phase. Basically, she's a cheaper version of Caribre because she doesn't cost a Soul Blast, so maybe I don't want to run Caribre now. And then auto rear guard when she attacks a grade 3 or greater unit. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Raziel's card name, Soul Blast want to give it plus 10,000 power for the battle. All around pretty solid. I do love how the deck has competing souls, so it's not too broken, and we have some cards that compete with Counterblast, but we have ways to recycle that thanks to Aerial Sage, and we definitely have ways to recycle Soul thanks to pretty much the entirety of Keter. All around this deck is pretty solid, or these supports are pretty solid, and I really cannot wait to test out this deck, so I'm going to cut my opinion short on this and say I think it's really cool, and the only reason why I'm not going into more depth about this is because I'm really hyped for Drag Race, and personally, I am team both of them, so yeah, I'm just want to hear. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to go test these out. I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join follow Twitch, and don't forget the other way. Sorry, wrong outro. I've been doing too much Drag Race lately. Anyways, don't forget to stand up your Vanguards.